My name Edmund Yakani, Executive Director of CEPO. I would like to take this opportunity to raise my voice loudly in joining the global community on the commemoration of the International Day on the Elimination of Sexual Violence in Conflict. As a civil society activist from South Sudan, where we are witnessing active military confrontation between the forces of the government and the forces of the other armed groups who are discontented with the incumbent system. We have witnessed in 2013 and violence, and we have witnessed in 2016 violence, and even in the recent violence that some men in uniform are committing sexual violence in the face of the conflict, or they take advantage of the conflict to commit sexual violence. And we like to call upon every commander of forces in the government and in the armed opposition that make sure your soldiers during military confrontation or during an act of military fight should abstain from committing a sexual violence against civilian population, or should not take advantage of the violence and then want to commit sexual violence against civilian population, because this is something international have been condemned, and these are the things that are demanding justice and accountability. And we are aware that the government of South Sudan and the opposition that are signatory to the Provisional Peace Agreement of 2018 have committed themselves in 2014 to sign an action plan with the UN Secretary General Representative on prevention of sexual violence related to conflict. And we have now a national action plan for obliging our soldiers of South Sudan People Defense Forces and other security and defense institutions and the opposition armed groups not to commit sexual violence during time of active military confrontation among themselves. We appreciate our Ministry of Defense, Department of Military Justice through the military court. They are holding soldiers that have committed sexual violence against civilian population accountable, and other form of crimes that they're taking advantage of the conflict we have witnessed in some part of the country. We are impressed, and we are calling upon the leadership of South Sudan People Defense Force, and in particular CDF, to ensure soldiers that commit sexual gender-based violence or sexual violence or any human rights violation as an advantage of the military confrontation between the government force and opposition should be held accountable. The same appeal goes also to the leaders of the armed groups to ensure their soldiers abstain from committing sexual violence during conflict. We are aware that victims of sexual violence in conflict sometimes are children, being male or female child. Therefore, we are also raising our voice loudly in the commemoration of this International Day of Elimination of Sexual Violence associated to conflict. We would like to call upon the South Sudan People Defense Forces, the armed opposition group, that please, if you are engaging in conflict, take into account the following commitments. Number one, ensure you don't recruit children in your fighting forces. Number two, don't abuse children's rights because you won't take advantage of the military confrontation you have in terms of sexual violence. Don't turn child as a labor, or don't take a sexual exploitation because you are having advantage in the face of the conflict. So I want to call upon you that ensure children are not victims of your conflict. Make sure you protect children as equal as you protect any civil population. Therefore, I would like to call upon the government of South Sudan to ensure that we have commitment and we have a responsibility to enforce the action plans that we have committed ourselves under international obligations, like the action plan for prevention of sexual violence in relation to conflict, and then the comprehensive commitments for protection of child associated with conflict. Therefore, I would like to appeal everybody at every capacity, being in uniform in the government or in the rebel groups, that commit yourself to ensure no sexual violence during conflict, or no recruitment of children or abuse of children during your conflict. Thank you very much.